Okay. Hey, ladies, it's Lori. We have our special guest, Gail, today, our new
Yay.
consultant training. Gail is one of the other Aspire Club coaches and a dear friend that I have made over the last, gotten to know each other pretty well over the last 6 months or so.
Yes.
I'm pretty open with this kind of stuff. If you girls know somebody in Jaffra that needs help, even if it's not on our district, they're welcome to be here. And I usually will share this information with other leaders if they need it. But this is really just for us for new consultant training. And sometimes even consultants that have been in for a while can use a refresh on this kind of information because it tends to change periodically. And so it's just good to go over it again. If it looks like I'm looking to the right, that's because that's where your faces are, and that's on my screen. That's where I naturally want to look instead of looking in the camera when your faces are over there. So that may look a little strange, but anyway, hopefully a couple more people will join us, but if not, it'll be recorded. So when you're a leader, as a leader, we have more access to some tools for training, and one of them is a digital version of My First 90 Days. So this is a booklet that comes in your kit. Sometimes if you want to, you can buy extra copies from Jaffra, and then when you sponsor someone, you can give it to them immediately, and then when theirs comes in their kit, they'll have an extra copy to hand to their first new consultant. So, if they don't sponsor anyone, they'll just have an extra copy when you run out and you need one. You can go, help, I need your free copy. But this is a great way for them to get started right away rather than waiting for their kit to get there. But even if they do wait until it gets there, it is a great tool. And this will walk us through, this is what it looks like on the front page. But this will walk us through, I can get this page down, there we go. First steps and basic check off, a checklist of things to do right away. So, in the little blurb over here, it says Jaffra is all about living life on your terms and making your dreams a reality. And the cool thing about Jaffra is we're not required to do meetings. We're not required to do any of this stuff. But if we want to, and we want to grow, and we want to build a business, it's just great tools for us to use at our own as we want to. If we want to move forward to management, or we want to move forward to growing a team and making extra money that way, then this is a great way to get started kind of more quickly and really have a checklist of things to do. So Jaffra has a few different options for us and tools. So text messages is a great option. We get about, I think we get 10 to 15 a month. I don't find them annoying at all. Some people don't like to get them because they don't like to get text messages in general. But I find them to be great reminders of things that are coming up, or if there's a sale or something, Jaffra will, a special like a 2 or 3 day sale, Jaffra, that's one of the texts we'll get. So it'll send us that text saying, hey, reminder, there's this new sale, go check Jaffra Biz to see it. So I think it's really helpful. And you can sign up for text messages. I will actually show you exactly where, there we go, where to look for it. I'm pausing my share so that you don't see me go on this little jaunt around my computer. Okay. So do you see Consultant Connection?
No.
Okay, that's a little bit.
I do.
Oh, there we do.
Okay, good. So if you go to Jaffra Biz, you click on Consultant Connection. This is kind of a hub for signing up for things. And to sign up for text messages, it's right underneath the slideshow, and it says text and a little picture of a phone. So that's where you would sign up for text messages. You would just click on that. It gives you a few items like your name, your consultant ID, and your phone number. And then you just click subscribe or something like that, and it signs you up for them, which is really handy. So that's where you do that. And then reviewing your client brochure and product catalog. Basically, your product catalog is the one that comes out every 6 months. It says fall, winter on it right now. I do not have one handy, but the pictures are a little bit different because, they change. But they also would be in your kit. So, and if you don't have one, ask your upline manager. We either will have an extra one we can send you, or you can order one with your next order with Jafra. But in your kit, you would have gotten at least, no matter what size your kit is, you get at least one of each of these. We have a monthly sale brochure, and then you have the catalog. The catalog is all the products at full price. And then the sale brochure is all our sales monthly. And it's just a good idea to kind of see how much we have at our fingertips. All 4 categories that we have with color and skincare and fragrance and toiletries. So I really don't like the word toiletries, but that's because it has a toilet in it, and I've never thought that was a very handy word to use when trying to sell something. I like to say body care products because, or spa and body care products. That's what I personally like to say, but technically it's toiletries. But that just kind of gives you an overview if you can go through those. And then Beautiful is our online training center. Melinda, have you been in Beautiful? Have you had a chance to go in there?
I have.
Okay.
I have been in it.
And what did you think of that?
I haven't been in it a lot, but I thought it would be very helpful when I start looking at it.
Yeah. So there's different things you can do. Let me see where I'm at here. Actually, I can open it, or I have it open. So if you click on Beautiful and Jafra Biz, this is what it looks like. You have my business training, product training, webinars and speakers, and your library. When you're a leader, there's a leaders only section, but consultants have the consultants, events, parties, product, social media, sponsoring, and web. And basically almost anything that you would like to know about and how to start is going to be under here, under these. Product is going to have product pages, like what's the ingredients are in a lot of our products, full page information about them, why the selling benefits, those kind of things. And these are all PDFs you can download very easily on your computer. Social media is going to be how to sign up for a Facebook page, some other tools like that. Sponsoring is going to show you a bunch of tools about sponsoring, downloads, that kind of thing. Events we'll talk about. I don't remember what's under events. I hardly ever look here. National conference highlights, Circle of Excellence highlights. There's not a ton of information there, but consultants will have tracking forms, new consultant forms, a few webinars that have some great things in there. But my business training is usually a really good spot to start. And these are just, there's different little modules. So they're each, let's see, let's get started. I don't want to play the whole thing. Looks like it's 17 minutes long. So, and that's about average. I'd say the average is 15 to 20 minutes. So it's really easy. You could do it on a lunch break while you're eating. You could just kind of listen to it or watch it, or at your, really anytime. They're all mobile friendly, so you can watch them on your phone, tablet, at home on your computer, whatever. You can jump around and pick different ones. You can, if you want to look ahead to Rising Stars, Prospecting, Loyalty Club, Sponsoring, Conversation, all of these, social media. There's 2 different social media ones. So, and I know there's a few changes that have come with Jafra Social, but it will give you a great overview. And then my product training, this is where you're going to see skincare, fragrance, and color, and you can literally go in and learn about the different things we have available. And they are updating a lot of these down here on the bottom row. They had them in here, and then they've had some additions. So I believe they're updating those and reloading them.
I have a question. The sponsoring video, that once you watch that, Jafra sends you out that sponsoring flip chart, correct?
I believe, yeah, the why. I don't know if it's under why sponsoring. I don't think so. I think it's under, hold please. Sponsoring conversation.
They don't include it in the kits because
not everybody wants it.
Right. So once you watch,
okay, so
video,
Jafra keeps track of what you what you watch.
Yep, and when you watch
badges.
all of them, you'll get a badge, and and then at the end you'll get a when each one you watch, you get a badge, and at the end you get a certificate, like an 8.5 by 11 certified new consultant. which is really nice. It usually comes digitally in your email. Congratulations, you've finished your training. But this one, the sponsoring conversation, I think it's that one. When you watch it, they'll send you the sponsoring flip chart, which is really nice because you can set it if you're talking to someone. It's just kind of a walkthrough, and the front page, they're looking at shows their side, and on the back it shows what you're supposed to say or what you can say.
Until you get comfortable with what you want to say or how you want to say it with your own passion. Right.
Exactly.
Okay.
So webinars and speakers, this is a great area for multiple different kinds of training, but anytime that Jafra sends out hey, there's a beautiful webinar, this is where it is. And we have 126 of them on demand. So these are all ones that have already happened, all the way back, I think, since April of 2015.
Oh, wow.
There you go. There is a ton of them.
Catch up. There's still time.
You do not need to watch all of them. But for instance, Mary Christensen is a nationwide, I think even worldwide speaker. She's wonderful. And she did a sponsoring, two or three of them. So sponsoring 101, and then there was another one the following month with her. And these, you can just come in here and watch them, and they're all free. They're all included. So, and they go by the last one that happened, and then they go to the older ones. But you can kind of scroll through and see what you want to learn about. Like this one, the Royal Active Peptide Power. This is about what's in royal jelly. So it literally goes into what it is, why it's great, what the benefit is of it, that kind of thing. So you can really specify exactly what you want to learn about. And then on live and upcoming, this is what's coming up soon. So tomorrow is Set Yourself Up for Success number 2, because I did one last month. Getting to know products. I'm not sure which ones they're going to cover this month, but that's in there.
Probably the new products, the new longevity cream and the eye.
They did go over that a little bit, I think, but I'm thinking they'll probably continue along those lines.
Okay.
And Ignite Your Business is Paulo, who's our president, and Scott, who's our vice president of sales. They're going to talk about the new Ignite program that starts in January. Or technically, I guess February is the first.
I actually watched a video that they did, or a presentation.
Yeah,
probably about a week ago.
That was Ivan and Scott. This is going to be Paula, who's our president, and Scott, and this will be a little more detailed, I think. But again, it's recorded, so you can watch it anytime, even if you can't watch it live. Anyway, so that's beautiful. There's a ton of information here. There's more, but those are the basic 3 areas you'll go to most of the time. There's a way to message each other on here and all kind of that, but when you have Facebook, you really don't. I don't use the Connect thing very often, but there is a way to use that as well if you want to. So that's beautiful. And starting with my first steps is a good idea for new consultants because it kind of goes as an overview of things. Or they can watch my new consultant training on YouTube. But that's a little longer than 15, 20 minutes. So, and then enroll your clients in My Jafra Clients. And My Jafra Clients is the automated mailing service that mails a monthly client brochure to your clients for you for a pretty minimal cost. So I think if you get to 20 or more, I want to say it's 84 cents each, which if you get one sale, it's totally paid for. And you can choose to only send it to certain people that would be interested, or you can send it to every new client you get online. You can send it to your consultants who may not be active, so you make sure they get.
I've signed people that.
What was that?
So I've signed 2 people up.
Awesome.
On the
congratulations.
For the mailing, and you can go in and do that. Yeah, you can go in and add people anytime. So as you go along, that you have to do it by a certain date. It's usually the 10th or 11th of the month, in there somewhere 12th, and they'll send out a message and it'll say cutoff is here for next month's mailing. But if you just kind of consistently add them,
correct?
What was that?
It's in the priority alerts, correct?
Yes, they usually put it there. And it will usually, sometimes it's in the action or it'll come in a text.
Yeah.
I think I read on the 8th.
It could be
Okay.
this month because of month end and all that. Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me.
Month end, year end. Yeah.
That's another note. Year end is going to be 11 o'clock on the 31st in the morning, which means they shut everything down at 11 a.m. So there won't be any orders, sponsoring, nothing. The system shuts down early that day because it's year end. And that usually surprises people. So we want to make sure we're spreading the word to our consultants and our team that basically you want to get everything done on the 30th, pretend like the 30th is the last day. And then if you have a few more things to do the next morning, you can do it. But the system will shut down completely and be done for the year because they have to do year-end processing. It takes a lot longer. And then they're closed usually for a few days at the end of the year. But then create a Jafra Facebook business page. I think you've already done that, Melinda, but for anyone else that's watching this that hasn't done it, there's a walkthrough on Beautiful under My Library and social media. There's a PDF that takes you step by step through that process of how to do that. You're also welcome to ask for help and we can help you with that. But it's pretty simple as long as you have a Facebook profile. You do have to have a personal Facebook in order to start a page, but they are separate. And what I'd like to tell people is...
I have 51 likes on it.
Has what?
I have 51 likes
Yay!
on my page.
Awesome. Very cool. Yeah, and we want to keep sharing that, share the link, ask people to like it. And you're going to get more views when people comment and like and share your posts. So talk to your friends and ask them to go in and say, hey, can you go in and make a comment on my post, or can you go in and share it, or can you go in and like it? Because every time they do that, more people are going to see it. That's how the Facebook algorithm works. It's annoying, but it's the way it is with Facebook. And when it comes to your Facebook business page and your personal page, your personal is kind of like the hub of a wheel, and your groups and your business page and all of that are kind of like the spokes. So you're connected to all of them, but they're separate entities. It's kind of the same, or you could think of it as a manager and her consultants. They're separate entities, but on the same team. So they're not, it's not like all your friends, personal friends, are going to see your Facebook posts unless you tag them in it or share it to your personal page.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so 4 things to do for a great start. Create your contact list, decide your business hours, promote your business, and follow up with contacts. And as you see here, we're going to follow up, see that in the following pages. It's going to have more detail about that. And then sign up for digital tools. This has changed since they did this. They're talking about your website basically, and as of, well, they just changed it. I'm not sure when it's actually going live. I don't know if it went live December 1st. I think it might be
December. Okay.
I'm not positive. But basically, they're changing so that everyone has $24 a year for their website, which is awesome. And for Client Direct, we mail to their clients. And then we're going to have the content is going to be free from Jafra Social, but they're not going to have the blog and newsletter and all that anymore. So they're going to have the like the photos and things you can share are all going to still be available. And those are going to be free now for everyone. So we're going to have access to all of that for free, which is amazing. And then in your kit, if you had the 99 or 129 kit, you would have gotten a USB little digital device with a bunch of videos and information on it. So you'd want to go through that. All right.
Did you get one of those, Melinda? I did. I got the 129 kit.
Mm-hmm.
So
and have you
glanced at it, but I haven't looked at it totally.
Okay.
You're doing fine. Despite the fact that you haven't done it, you're doing a very wonderful job of being a consultant. But it does have some good tools. And I think for some people are good self-starters like you are. And but there's other people that really need the walkthrough. And so sometimes it's good to kind of know what's on there, even if you just kind of, like you said, you look at it, kind of see what the tools are that are available to you. And then you kind of know what you could share or talk to your new girls about. Because if they get the $29 or the $49 kit, they don't get that USB. So then it would be something you could send to them or share with them, or show them if they needed the information, or you could point them in the right direction on YouTube or.
I sure that our team gets to watch it, because when I signed her up, or when I talked to her, I think she got the $49 kit.
Mm-hmm.
Because she was going to order from me, and I told her that she was making quite a list. I told her it would probably be better for her just to. So that was the extent of my spill to her. So
yeah. Well, and sometimes that's all it takes, because it really is about them and what's best for them. Because in the long run, that's never going to do you wrong. Doing what's best for someone else is always a good thing, and it always comes back in a good, positive way.
Well, the two I've are that, but they were making a list, and I said, you really just need to think about doing this instead. So.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. So this is something on page 4 and 5. This is something of just writing down or cutting and pasting or gluing, whatever, things that if you're doing this as a business, why are you doing it as a business? What is your dream? What would be the benefit to you? Like, for instance, are you saving for a vacation to Europe? So then you'd put pictures of Europe all over it. Are you saving for a new house? Are you trying to pay off your bills? Are you saving for a vacation? Things like that. So this is a place to kind of just either write down or put pictures of why you're doing this. And the good thing about that, it's kind of like a dream board or a vision board. The idea behind it is that on the days when it doesn't seem to be going perfectly, because we all have those days no matter how long we've been in Jafra, then you can come back to this and go, that's right, this is why I'm working for this. This is why
I get up and talk to people.
Exactly.
I have a camera on me while I'm sitting here awkwardly.
No, you're totally fine.
That's awesome.
Yeah, all of us. I'm just getting to chat more. So that's what this page is for. And it's a good thing to kind of sit down with your new consultant and go through this with her if you can. But if you can't, because some of us are obviously a few hours away from others, that's why I'm doing it this way, so that we can kind of give an overview of what's here just for them. So this part we're going into, which Melinda, you've already started. But this is the sponsor to develop to. And the reason that they say it's all about building a team is because you do make more money when you're a team leader. And if you're trying to build, so what is that Jackie says? Says selling is your check
living expenses.
Yeah. And
it's your what?
Is your
401k, your retirement.
Yeah, well, I think sponsoring is your savings account, and developing and building a downline is your retirement, because it's residual income that comes in, and you get paid as many girls as you have wide, so as many managers as you have wide, you get paid that far down, which no other company that we've found pays that much. So the more people you're developing, and the thing is that you're developing them to make more money for them. And in turn, Jafra's paying you for doing that. So
for your influence, right?
Yeah, it's a win-win for both of you. It's a really rich commission structure, and so this is if this is the direction you want to go, there's a lot of money available to us, and Jafra really spoils us with our double commission months and our leader candidate bonuses and all of the stuff that they wouldn't have to pay us, but they do. And so there's a lot of money on the table to be made if this is something that you want to do. And, even as a leader, becoming a manager doesn't mean that you have to know everything. I tend to love training. It's kind of my thing. But even if I didn't know how to do that, my upline manager would be my support, and she would have answers when I didn't have answers. So you don't have to know everything to be a manager. You always have your support all around you of your upline and other leaders. So you never have to be afraid of that. It's just really about your desire. What do you want in your business? Do you want to just sell and make money, or would you want to grow a team and make even more money? So that's basically what that is. And it's fun when you sponsor a couple people who are friends with you, kind of like you and Becky, Melinda. When you're friends with someone, it's more fun to do the business because you're doing it with someone you like. And so that's the idea, is to sponsor people who, you know, who would you want to do this with? And then
who would you want to travel with? Who would you want to
exactly.
go on trips with and have fun?
Yeah, exactly. So there's more details on there, but that's what that page is about. And then here is talking about parties. So I'm sure you've already done a launch party, Melinda, or a first party, but
I have.
What was that?
I haven't done a party yet.
Oh, you've just been a super seller.
Well, actually,
parties, what?
I have 5 daughters, so, and then I have granddaughters.
Oh, that works too. Hey, that's a party in itself right there.
There you go.
That works too. So a party can be anywhere from one person that you're doing a personal, what's called a personal rather than a party. Just basically showing it on the back of their hand, letting them try it. Or it can be all the way up to a big open house where you've got 50 people and, you know, people coming and going all day. So it doesn't matter what kind of parties you do, but it's good to have one just to invite friends, even if it's a very casual, hey, come over to my house, we're going to have coffee or wine or whatever you like to do. We're going to have some treats and hang out and have some girl time, you know, come by and we'll have some fun together. Or you could have a hostess where she can earn over $600 in free products and discounted products, and you can earn, of course, 50% commission when they have 400 or more of their sales. So there's all these different options for how you want to do it. But the idea in the party is that it's less work for you because you have more people at the same time trying the products. And so rather than doing one by one, you're doing 5 or 10 at a time. So that's the idea behind a party. It talks about 3 things to do to throw great Jafra parties. Offer the hostess benefits, watch the training module, and then at the party you listen to the girls there, and you will find new consultants and future hostesses and future clients just by listening to what people want and what they like and who they are and how well they do. And if a hostess has a screaming good party and there's a lot of sales, she might be your next consultant because she automatically has what it takes.
Well, Ernestine wants a party.
Yeah, she was telling me that. Yeah,
so we're going to do that's going to be our first one.
Yeah, she was excited. She's so cute. She's just I'm surprised she's not here, actually. She's usually on this, but she probably has other stuff going on. But she she's been a lot of fun to chat with, and that'll be fun for you guys to do that together. Definitely.
Yeah.
So if the formula is 4 parties a month, sponsor 2 and develop 2, which means that the people you sponsor someone. And that's when you're consistently doing that, you're going to get the best results you can get with Jafra. Jan Day always taught us to do 2 if you want to consistently grow, and 5 as a team if you want to explode. So if you want to really grow, sponsor yourself 2 and 3 others among your team members, or 5 yourself, if that's, like Jackie said today, if that's what it takes for a while. But that's the way we grow if you want to grow at that pace. So that's a good way to do that. But parties also just bring in great sales because people can try it. So your goals, this is where you decide what you want to do. So whether you want to be a manager, whether you want to be just a consultant selling, whatever your desire is, this is where you can set down, what do I want to make in this month, every month? If I want to make $1,000 a month, that means I need to sell $2,000. How does that break down into weekly sales? And then you could really figure out because sponsoring also brings in cash. So you might find that it really does make a lot more sense for you to sponsor and grow a team, because you're going to make your commission here as sales, and you're also going to make your commission on the other side with sponsoring. And that's both going to bring 2 different streams of income in. So this is where you kind of think about it. What do I want to do in the next 30 days, the next 90 days? How do I get to where I want to be? Not just randomly go out and do stuff and hope it happens, but actually come up with a plan. Here's the number I want to make. Here's the number I want in my checking account or whatever. And here's how I'm going to get there. it really helps to write that down, and that way you can really see what you're trying to do. And you can also rejoice when you reach your goal, because that's a time for celebration. So this is talking about your contacts. And I think, let me see if they have it in here. Nope. So there's a list in my consultants sponsoring, or I think it's under beautiful and then consultants. It's called the My 100, My Jafra 100. And it's also on Jafra Events Information and Training Group on Facebook. But basically it kind of helps you think about how to get 100 names. So you've got your acquaintances, you've got friends, you have family, you have like your doctor's office, you know, you have all these people in your life. And sometimes you don't, it's like, oh yeah, I could talk to so-and-so, I could share it with so-and-so. And so it just kind of gets you thinking about it. As like it says here, family, friends, current and past coworkers, neighbors, teachers, kids' parents, acquaintances, school friends, relatives, clubs, your hairdresser, real estate. I mean, it just kind of goes on, but it makes you think about it. And then if you start writing names down, you can kind of make notes or check it off as you talk to them. And there's three important tips. Or don't prejudge anyone, just write down their name. Because you don't, you know, even if you think, oh, they don't need the money, but they might want a great quality product at a really good price. You just never know. And you don't know what's going on in people's lives either, because some people will look like they have it all together, but they actually could really use a few $100s a month.
They might start making that long list like you were talking about, Melinda. You just really need to do this.
Yeah, exactly. And referrals are awesome, and you can get many from your contact list. So even if they're not interested, you could say, who do you know that might, you know, need this right now? Or do you know anyone that you could refer me to? But the longer and the larger your list is, the more diverse your list is, the more chances you can have for finding new people. Let's see. Yeah, and so for, it says set up your business hours. This is really just a place to think about, again, it's your business, and it's flexible. It's not something that you're forced to do, but you really want to kind of decide when you want to do your business, so that if you want to do this as a business, you really can sit down and say, okay, Monday afternoons are when I'm going to do training. Tuesday afternoons, I'm going to set up all my Facebook posts and sales posts, things like that. It really helps to have a system, so that as you get busier, that system is still in place, and it helps you to grow your business. And as you're growing, it doesn't become overwhelming. There's some really great tips in here. So it's just something to go over as you're going into setting up your business. And some people can only do it a couple days a week. They can only do it on Saturdays and Sundays. Well, you could do 3 parties on Saturdays, and those are your days for parties, and Sunday's your day for social media or something like that. Or you could have a Thursday night and a Saturday. It doesn't matter. It's totally up to you. And so this is the social media tips. It's something you can go over and look at. We already talked a little bit about that, but social media is a great place to spread the word about Jafra and help Jafra become a household name. I wouldn't say that I've gotten a ton of one-on-one sales through Facebook, but I have, and specifically, for instance, but I have gotten sales and consultants from Facebook, just because when I talk to someone, they're like, oh yeah, I've seen you post about that, because it was familiar to them. And so it wasn't a strange, like, what's that? What are you talking about? Because they'd seen me online, so they knew what I was talking about, and it was familiar to them. And that's just a marketing kind of 101 is people, it depends on who you talk to, but they say between 7 and 25 times people need to see a name before it starts to become familiar to them. And realizing my dog is locked in my office with me. What is it, Loose? You need to go outside. You want to say hi to the girls? Say hi, everyone.
Hi, Lucy.
I'm a hot mess right now. So anyway, that's the idea behind social media, is to get it out there. And you do get sales and you do get sponsoring. I've gotten both online. Just about sharing and getting Jafra to be a familiar name to your friends and contacts. So following up is a huge portion of it. You're following up with a prospect. It's following up with a new client. I've heard the 2, 2, and 2. So 2 days, 2 weeks, and 2 months. 2 days is after, whether after they order or after you talk to them. Within 2 days, you want to talk to them again. And then 2 weeks after they receive their order, or even just after you deliver their order, one or the other, depending on if it's online or in person. And then 2 months later to see if they need to get an order in to replenish, depending on, just to check in, how's it going. And sometimes at that 2-week mark, it's been 2 weeks since they got it and they go, oh, it's still in a box, so they're never going to use it up if it's not being used. So it's just you're providing a service. You're not bothering them. You're providing a service to them and giving them that personal touch that makes you different than going to Macy's or wherever. You're providing that service to them. So
and they'll appreciate it because you're not just calling for an order, you're calling to check in on them and see how their product's working.
Exactly. So this is kind of interesting. According to statistics, 2% close on the first exposure, 3% on the second, 5% on the third, 10% on the fourth, and 80% on the fifth. That's crazy.
So never give up.
I know, right? So, that is nuts that it goes from 10% on the fourth to 80% on the fifth. My goodness. Now, if they keep saying no, you don't want to keep calling them every week. Hi, how are you doing? Obviously, you're not going to be obnoxious. But it's the different exposures. It's the different...
and they say, too, that after, 3 months, that your lifestyle changes, somebody has a baby, somebody moves out, kids come home, within 3 months, life changes.
Yeah, 3 to 6 months is usually a big change. Yep. So you just never know. And I think maybe that's why it is more often, because at first they're like, oh, yeah, I know you do that. And second time, oh, well, okay. And then, by the fifth time, it's familiar. But it's crazy to me that it goes from 10 to 80%. That's just crazy.
Or if they say no, not now, you can say, well, can I have permission to call you back in 2 months or 3 months or 5 months, whatever it is.
Right, exactly. And usually most people will say yes. It's not that they don't want to ever hear from you again. It's just that it's not right now and it's not convenient. So
don't take it personal.
Yes, don't take it personally. Don't be discouraged. Okay, so your phase of in the first 90 days, this is the 90-day plan is really how to get from consultant to manager in 90 days. If you really follow this step by step and you really do this in the phases that they have here, you do become a manager in 90 days. And the trick is that it's consistently sharing and or meeting new people every day. So the idea is that you talk to 3 to 5 new people a day. It doesn't mean that you talk to them about Jafra necessarily, but it's building a new relationship with a new person, 3 to 5 people every day. And in the course of you building these relationships, of course, Jafra comes up because that's one of the things you do. You may be a nurse or whatever, but or you might be a construction person or work for the airlines, but you're a Jafra consultant. And if Jafra's not your full-time work, that's fine. But every time you meet new people, you have an opportunity to have Jafra be part of the conversation at some point. It might not be that day, but if you're consistently doing that in the direct selling industry, the average is if you talk to 3 to 5 people a day, 1 to 2 of every 10 people are going to say yes to something. So they're either going to sponsor, be a hostess, or be a client. And that's just the numbers that have been around forever. So if you want to build and you're consistently talking to people, you will consistently find that you're building your business. So it talks about phases. And this is if you want to be manager in 90 days. So phase 1 is your 90 days workbook, learning the programs, the business kit, and Jafra party training. So doing your parties, getting the word out there. Phase 2 is sponsor to, develop to, doing a grand opening for your girls, and even for yourself if you're doing it really quickly. And learning how to, this is so month 1, month 2, month 3, basically. And it's kind of going in a 12-week. So each week you're doing something different, or focusing on something different. And you can do it faster if you want to. Learning to prospect in social media, compensation plan training. So really learning what is available to you in the compensation plan and commission plan. Preparing to promote, practicing the fundamentals, building a strong team, and promoting to manager. And this really is totally doable if that's your goal. And if it's not your goal, then you do it at the level you want to. But if this is your goal, it is doable. And if you follow the steps, it does happen.
Even by mistake sometimes.
Like me. I accidentally promoted to manager. It was pretty funny in like 2 weeks. Well, I guess it was a whole month, because I sponsored 7 in 1 month without even planning to. And just because I was so excited about the social media tools that we were launching, this was 2 years ago. And I was so excited about it that I literally in 3 weeks sponsored 7 people and accidentally promoted to manager. And I didn't even know I did until 3 days into the next month. And my manager called me and said, "Did you know, have you looked at your reports?" And I was like, "No." And she goes, "Congratulations, manager." And I was like, "What?" So, but that was really fun because it wasn't stressful at all. So anyway, this is a checklist for those phases. So phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. And if you go through these, hopefully you guys are seeing my page change, but yes. It really is a good checklist for each week of things to do. And really you can check them off yourself as you're going through, and it really walks you through things that the modules you should be watching, the material you should be familiarizing yourself with, and the training that you're taking, and all of those things. It's really going to walk you through step by step. It's really handy. Even if you don't want to be a manager, it's good to go through this stuff and really get yourself acclimated, and it really is going to give you a lot of information to make you a better consultant. So all of that. And then at the end of the book, it has a spot for all the information that you always want to know. So your consultant ID goes on everything, who your sponsor is, who your upline leader is, and that's not always the same person. Because if you, let's say that, so before Becky became a manager, Melinda, I was your upline leader and she was your sponsor. Mm-hmm. And then when she became a manager, then she becomes your upline leader. Does that make sense? So your sponsor, until she becomes a manager, her manager above her is your manager also. It's kind of like you guys are sister consultants, even though she sponsored you. And once she promotes to manager, then she becomes your upline manager. So then you have the sponsor's phone and email, upline's phone and email. It's just good. It's really good to have that in one spot. I like to put it in my phone personally because I don't carry my first 90 days around with me. But I've got my manager on speed dial. So I always have her on whenever I need her. And Facebook is wonderful too, but this is just a great spot to have all that information. And you can even put their consultant ID in there if you want it. But yours is the most important because that's what you want everyone to have. So again, this is talking about how, if you want to grow, how you can do that. And this is just a good spot to go through with your manager or just on your own, just to kind of really spell out what your goal is and how you can build. As you can see, this is your sponsoring to makes you a leader candidate. When they sponsor to and they become a leader candidate, you get that bonus again. So you get $60 here, and then you would get an additional $120 because she becomes a leader candidate and she becomes a leader candidate. Anytime, and that's unlimited for your first 8 months. So once you become leader candidate the first time, as long as you've not been a manager in the last 2 years, you fast start to leadership, and you have 8 months to complete that. And that's where you get your double commissions for your first and third month as a manager, leader candidate bonuses, and all of that. It's really a lot of money on the table.
It is.
Yes. Which we don't have access to because we've been managers for too long. But you guys do. So
I say this to take advantage of it because it wasn't available for us.
No, it's not available forever. Exactly. It's only for 8 months once you become leader candidate. And then once you do that, and as you're training your girls, you're telling them about sponsoring. They're making leader candidate bonuses. They're starting their 8 months, and you're on your way to DM1. So it's very exciting. And that is basically the overview of my first 90 days. That's a lot of information, which I know is a lot of information. But there's a ton of online training, as we talked about, where I showed you guys how to get there. And we've done other how to order and all of that. But do you have any questions, Melinda, since you're the only one on here that's not a manager? Do you have any questions about anything?
I don't.
Okay.
Yeah, I really don't yet.
Okay. If they come up, you know where I am. You know where to find me. But yeah, and I know this is being recorded for the other girls too, but this is just a really great tool as an overview and kind of a trigger of things to kind of check off for training. Even if, like I said a couple of times, even if your goal is just to be a consultant, that's totally fine. Even if you just want to be a personal shopper, totally fine. But you should still know about the products, because you want to know what you can get your discount on and what's good for you and what's good for you to have, and be able to answer someone else's question maybe if they ask you about it. So no matter what your level is and what you want to do, this is just a good checklist to walk yourself through and just kind of get yourself started, no matter what level you're at. So that's about an hour. That's kind of good. I didn't go 3 hours. Woohoo! Especially since we have a Spire Club coming on at 20 minutes. So anyway, that's the first 90 days. I'm going to stop recording and I'll stay on for a minute. But hopefully that was a good overview and made sense. Gail, do you have anything else that you think I missed, or what?
No, you did a great job. Thanks for inviting me.
Oh, you're welcome. It's always good to have more faces on here. And yeah, and there's, like I said, there's tons of training online, so go check it out. Ask questions, message me anytime on Facebook, or you can text me or call me anytime you need help with something like that. But use the tools that Jafra's given us, because they really have given us a ton of information and a ton of tools for free that's included when you become a consultant. So hopefully that was helpful to you guys, and I look forward to next week's new consultant training at 4 p.m. next Monday. And remember that our district training is at 9 a.m. On Monday mornings. So that's all district training. It's a little bit more of just different types of training, but you guys are welcome on any and all of those. So I look forward to seeing you then.
Thank you, Lori.
Okay, you're welcome.
Nice to see you, Melinda.
Thank you, Lori.